All right. Welcome everybody to our coffee clutch and for us to get together and talk about this wonderful season that's coming up right now.
It's
And
here.
so with this that's here with us we have Dan Workman and Deb and Linda Anderson. And I want to welcome them and uh, talk about exactly what's in front of us and in front of the Black Hills Playhouse audiences this summer. Dan, I'm going to turn it over to you. And thank you. Thank you for attending and coming and sharing.
Sure. So I'm not quite sure. So you want me to just to talk about the season? Is that what you want? Is a
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah. Yes, and welcome. Whatever you'd like to talk about. Oh, here's Shirley. Good. Hi, Shirley. Welcome, welcome. We're saying welcome to everybody, and we're kind of just talking briefly about running through the season. Dan's gonna start, and we can just everybody have a chit chat.
yeah,
Grab
sure.
your
So
coffee.
I think we have a fantastic season on board. I mean, we bought a full in on the 250 years of the since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. I've known for a few years that I wanted that 1776 to be a part of this season, and so I,
Yes.
um, wanted. I knew I wanted that. Um, but then as we started playing around with themes, we were like, going, okay, well, maybe we go all in on this and find four different ways of celebrating that. So first up, we have the complete history of America abridged, which is by the same people who wrote the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged. So it's a lot of fun. It's 90 minutes of just hilarity and three actors that are doing it all. And I'm happy to have Jason Reuter as one of those actors. So that'll be a nice
Good.
strong part of that. Um, and then of course 1776 is the second slot is in the second slot, and then Come From Away is on our third slot. And if you don't know Come From Away, it's time you should. So I'm glad that the reunion is going to be happening during the run of that show. And then we're ending with a fantastic, brilliant piece of theater called "What the Constitution Means to Me" by Heidi Schreck. And it's got three actors in the show, but it's really kind of a one person show with our main character talking about her family and their journey and what the Constitution was a part of that and how that all happened. So I think it's a great lineup of shows.
It is a great lineup of shows. It's wonderful to be illuminating the whole celebration and bringing our country into focus. And thank you. I think that's a great lineup.
Can you talk about the company, Dan, a little bit, or not? Not yet.
We have one.
Success.
Woohoo!
Yeah, sure. I mean, so we have a lot of returning company members. So Chris Haig is back as a lighting designer, but also as TD again for this summer. Amber Cook is designing costumes, but she is also our production manager for the summer. Christina Olson is back as our
Nice.
costume shop manager.
Nice.
Stefan Azua, or AKA Flacco, is back as our
Nice.
head electrician. Um, we have a second year student who is a student at USD. Sophia Koti is our scenic charge artist. And then we have Libby Williams as our props head of props. And Libby is she's got I don't know, we want to call her a legacy of the Playhouse because her mother was Linda McBride.
And Mary Linda.
Yeah, Mary, and so she was so she was in Fiddler on the Roof and a couple other shows at certain different times. And her father, Ted, was on the board for a number of years.
Wow.
So those are our shop heads, and I'm happy to have all of them there. Um, so only one of them is brand new to the but to the company, but none of them are brand new to the Playhouse. So I think we have a great staff in all of those lead positions. We have several of our technicians that are coming back. We have a lot of designers that are coming back. So Kathy Vokes is coming back to design, as well as Sarah Ice for costumes, and John Devlin is doing the set for What the Constitution Means to Me. And so we just have a lot of great returning people.
Yeah. So so Anna Packard ever designed for us?
She has Anna Packard is back. She's designing the first show. She is so
Anna? Is
Yeah,
Darren coming with her?
I have not heard if
You
Darren
better.
is going to come out with her or not.
I
Nice.
I
suspect
can't imagine
he'll
that he wouldn't visit, right?
Unless they're
You know,
coming back for the reunion, but maybe not. I don't know. Coming
so
back twice.
yeah, but
Yay, Anna.
I imagine we'll see Darren at least a little bit.
Good. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so got a nice variety
Yeah.
of people that are that are coming out, and of course we always have a lot of new people as well. Acting company, we have some stellar returners like Lisa Whipperling is coming back, and Emily Workus is coming back, and we also have some duds that we've invited back, like Jeff Kingsbury is coming back, and John Kirk on the call. He's going to be out there this summer as well.
Good.
Number 4.
Oh, number 4. Good for you, John.
Yeah.
And good for the Playhouse. And good for the you're right there. You're Johnny on the spot.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
So yeah, so I think it's a really strong company, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, director wise, we have Ray Jenna from Chair at USD is going to be directing the first show. I'll be directing 1776.
Okay.
Megan Gerlach, who directed Waitress last summer and has choreographed numerous shows for us, is coming back and directing Come From Away. And our new director this year is Jana Fitzsimmons, who I teach with at Augustana.
Nice.
But what the Constitution means to me is right up her alley, and what she does so well as a thoughtful and provocative director. So I'm excited for her to be a part of the company as well.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Cool.
That's good. Wow. Wow. Well, congratulations. And how big will the company be?
We fill up all the rooms again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is now
it's probably 65.
60 some, yeah, 60 some that are, not everybody's there for the whole summer. So,
Right.
I mean, in terms of like cast wise, this is a little bit smaller number of actors than we've had the last couple of years. It just worked out that way with 2 smaller shows. So have that, and just kind of works out that way.
Mhm.
But like I said,
We always have just the
beds in our reviews.
just the perfect amount
It always works out.
to get everything done.
A big shout out to for helping us get all of our technicians hired. Jason Reuter was instrumental in making that happen. He's been helped with that the last couple of years, and then Liam, of course, and his staff have been helping to get all of the front of house people hired. So getting everybody in place. Most of our box office staff are also performers, and so we're going to be using all of them in our Tatanka teaser this year. So we're
cool.
getting them all involved in that.
On May 30th. Yay!
Wow, that's coming right up, isn't it?
It sure
It is.
is.
Yeah.
Right around the corner.
I'm remembering, it might be my night. I don't know what year now. I'll have to look it up. Where it was the biggest year ever and had like 99 people or something like that. I
Oh my
just
gosh.
count.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was somewhere in
Chaos.
the 50s, and they said that's the big. Where did they put them all? Anyway,
Right?
yeah.
We've lost a couple of buildings since then.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, and that's when Sherdloo and anyway, they must have all been stuffed. So, Linda, how is it lining up for you and all?
Fantastic. I get to talk about all the exciting stuff that I know all the alums are just dying to hear about, like the new sewer. Woo! So, thank you, American Rescue Plan money that came down to rural water development. And so the state was able to get a grant, thank you, Joe Biden, for for the sewer. And it's amazing because it's millions of dollars. And finally, we have a new sewer. So, and it seems to be working so far. We can flush the toilets and everything. It's great.
Oh, that's so
But I'll
huge.
tell you what, it was a nail biter because it got installed literally like 3 days. It was up and running before our volunteer day.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
which was last week, so we were
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, it was supposed to be done in September. But anyway, they got that done. We had this fantastic volunteer day. We had like 45 plus volunteers.
Wow.
And it
Yep.
was just a great group. And we always do a potluck with that. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, it was maybe the best potluck ever, wasn't it, Jeff?
it
Mhm.
was.
So
It
good.
was
I
really
Yeah,
love
good.
volunteer
It
day.
was
It's
good.
such a good energy early on, especially when the weather's great. God, it's fun. It's a neat
yeah,
day.
Mhm.
yeah, it
It is.
is. And we get so much work done that day. So when the company
Yeah.
comes, the theater is clean and the office is clean and the dorms are all cleaned up and people can just walk in and park and get to work, right? So we're not having to do
Mhm.
any of that other stuff. I think maybe one of the differences from at least the years that I've been here, so this is my 16th season.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
yeah, right. It goes by like that,
Wow.
right? Anyway, is we used to always have to wait kind of to turn things on, like turn the water on, turn the electricity on, right as the company was arriving because we didn't have money, right? So now things are spread out a bit more. We get the internet is already up. It's been up for a week, and the telephones are working, and so when the company gets there, it's really just a move in, and we can get to work as quickly as possible, which is fantastic. And as we were commenting, I think the internet with the fiber optic out at the Playhouse is better than our office. So
Oh, wow.
which is, you
Wow.
guys remember the old days. It was nothing like that.
How is
So
that possible? Wow.
yeah,
That's
I know it's
awesome.
crazy. It's crazy. But then also, so this fall they started the sewer, and then also they installed a new bridge between the upper and lower camp. So that bridge right in front of the dining hall, that was taken out and restored.
Oh,
And
wow.
It's
so
really
you're going to see a
nice.
difference when you guys come because a lot of between the storm damage we had in December and this construction, we lost
Wow.
probably upwards of 40 on the
Mhm.
campus. And so
Because of the storm, Linda?
well, no, the storm we only lost like 25, but that construction alone took out trees near the creek. So it's still going to be beautiful, but it just it
It's
looks different
different.
for a bit. And we'll probably, they'll be planting trees, I'm sure, eventually. So that new bridge is there. Last year, you'll remember we had a building condition assessment. Oh my gosh. So that is, to get a new lease, the park is requiring a building condition assessment. So luckily, we've been working so hard for these 15 years to bring things up to snuff. So there really weren't a ton of surprises, but we had been grandfathered in for certain things. So we had to put in sprinkler systems in all the dorms, which is a good thing. You know, we had to put new windows, 53 new windows in the dorms because they weren't big enough for egress. And so, and then some handrails and some other things. And you'll hear more about this as we move along. The only thing we haven't been able to mitigate from that report is that in the theater, the stairwells and the lobby have been, they are no longer compliant. So we have to come up with an architectural solution for that, and we've been working on that and
By when? By when?
well, that's the question. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Probably 2 years
Okay.
that we'll have the I think that they'll be good with us, but we have to have a plan,
Uh-huh.
so anyway, when we knew that we had to do all that stuff, so we're talking this is about $400,000 worth of work between this year and next year. And Jeff and I and many others have been working hard to raise that money so we don't have to take it out of reserves. We're still in the process of doing that. And, I'm confident with the help of lots of people, we'll get that done. Um, but those things take a lot out of your operations, right? When you're,
Yeah.
and so because, because I can't just do things halfway. when we started learning about all of these different things that were going to happen, I went to the board and said, we should be thinking bigger, because why should we only think about what we have to do? Let's think about what we want to do to make the Playhouse really great for the next 80 years, right? So we've just finished a master plan. We went through a whole year and a half of planning to plan what the campus could look like. And I won't go through that today, but it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So
Well, that's exciting.
it is exciting. It's just going to take finding some millions of dollars to make it happen, right? And as I tell my staff almost every day, it's only money. It's only money.
And if you don't have a plan, you don't get there. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Exactly.
that. That's, foundation.
Yeah, and so the board is really a great board. We have 22 members now from all over the region, from Minneapolis to, I think we have a board member in Florida now. He just moved to Florida.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, weird, but anyway, they were really brave and said, let's go with this crazy woman's idea and look ahead to the future. And we'll be so excited to get all of your input on that this year, because it'll be super fun. We're going to have some pictures and some things and some renderings, and it'll be fun to talk about and dream a little bit for the future.
How are you going to roll that out to explain to?
Well, so this is the thing. We have to get approval from the park on the plan.
Uh-huh.
So we're kind of working on that right now, and I'm hoping that by the reunion we'll be able to show renderings, and then we'll be able to, we'll have to do a feasibility for a capital campaign. So we're looking, there's a good year before we'll truly make it super public, but we will, of course, make it public to our beloved alums. So.
Well, hopefully, before the reunion show, that you guys have 15 minutes to talk about what's what.
Yeah.
That might be part of what's what.
For sure. And, and it's just so fabulous. I really want to thank Jenny May and Menno and your reunion committee. I know, Jeff, you've had a hand in that, Mark, of course, and Mayor. You guys have done just a fantastic job of putting this event together, and we are so excited to see people this summer. I'm anticipating a last-minute rush of people registering.
We're praying for it. We're praying for it.
Because that's how the world goes, right? People don't do things until last minute. But what a great time to connect and just be on that campus. And, when we were talking about these changes, the biggest thing we've talked about is how do we maintain that feeling of the original? That's been the conversation all the way along. But, there has been no master plan that has ever had as much input from the artistic staff as this one. So we talked to the scenic designers, and we talked to people in the shops, and we said, what kinds of things do you need? What's the space that we need? We looked at, the kinds of, just the fact, like creating a new rehearsal hall that is at least the size of the stage. What an innovation.
What?
Crazy talk.
What a luxury that would be.
Anyway, so there's just so many exciting things going on at the Playhouse. And, we keep expanding thanks to Jeff and his staff, Cassie, the number of donors and the community of people who support us. Capital campaigns, I've been through a couple in my life. They're really hard work, really, really, really hard work. But what they do is they allow you to make the case to a bigger community. And 80 years, you guys, come on. All of the things that every one of you has given to make this place a fabulous legacy. We've got so much to be proud of and so much to talk about. And, we'll be advocating with our legislators, and we will be, advocating with the state to also invest in this kind of a project. And, without all the work of all the people who, I stand on all of your shoulders, we wouldn't be at this place where we could do this now. So I'm really looking forward to be able to thank people in person and tell them how much it means. So anyway, we're going to have a great season. Oh, I should talk a little bit too, Jeff. We have an onboarding dinner next week for the Leadership Circle. So we've got 44 people coming. Leadership Circle is a donation of 1,500 on up. And so then we ask them to bring friends, and it's Janet. We've got over 81 members of that club now. And Janet Boyer, alum, former board member, she donates the meal for this onboarding dinner. And she uses it as her startup for her restaurant in Custer. And it's a pretty sweet menu. It's super nice. And it's just really nice to be, we've grown this relationship with Custer and Hot Springs and our, Hill City. It's so important that all of these people, Custer in particular, Hot Springs would be that close second. They're very proud of us and the work that we do, and they value us. And there are so many stories out there. Every time I'm in Custer, I swear I hear a new story of, Doc Lee coming into someone's living room and taking a sofa or something.
Yes, that's true.
When they weren't home.
Yeah. People would talk about I know a woman who she would come home and she said, I always knew when Doc Lee had been in the house because we were missing things. And that's the other thing, I feel really, and I know Dan feels this way too. Dan, of course, you've been there. This is Dan's 30th year.
Wow, Dan.
Right?
Wow. Good job.
Right? So
Hey, where's my oxygen tank?
But I feel so lucky to have come in 2010 and met people like Hap Haverman and Ellie and people who are so integral to, or people, Dr. Jim Johnson, he's a former board member of
Right.
ours. He's just been inducted
Exactly.
into the
That's what I'm just
South Dakota
Hall of Fame.
And, he's got great stories to tell. I mean, Doc Lee changed his life by hiring him at the Black Hills Playhouse. And, he ended up going to SDSU and working in theater for, 40, 50 years, creating Prairie Rep and all of those things. So,
right. He's honored this year
Yes.
in the next 10 of the South Dakota Hall of Famers.
Yep. And, we just saw him, Dan and I, we were at the Sioux Falls, and Jeff went to the celebration in Rapid City. And John, you went there too, right?
Yes.
To honor. And, he's 88. So it's fantastic that he's being honored.
We actually had a thought that Doc Lee ought to be in the South Dakota Hall of Fame. And it might be something, just throwing it out there.
No, that's enough of that. Exactly, because I think it should, of course, he should be.
Yeah.
Along with Doc Knudsen.
Yep.
And now, and I was going to go back and look through the other, but I think without having done the homework, I think that's it, but I don't know fully.
Well, Dorothy Delicate would be certainly a person that would be eligible. They do posthumous.
Yep.
They do two. They try to do two a year out of their 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and what's super fun for me too is just, like you guys with your decades discussions, the alums, that's such a brilliant idea. Like I'm putting faces to names that I've heard, and it's fun. It's fun to understand all those connections, and just think of all the seeds that Doc Lee planted.
Plus, when you watch them in order, you realize the overlap from decade to decade, or somebody was in the 1970s and then they're back in the 2000s. That was really fun to watch those.
Yeah. And I think of someone like Dan who's been there during these different periods, and what you realize as you talk to alums is every playhouse that people experienced was kind of their own. right? You know, I
Right,
mean,
right.
there are these commonalities, but also there, you know, it was what the people made of it at that time, and they're all beautiful stories, and it's so much fun to just think of all the lives that have been touched, and you know,
Right.
through the work that we do. So
And all the theater throughout the country that has been affected by
yes,
Alum.
alumni BHPers all
yep.
through.
I
Yeah,
mean, we have
amazing.
some exciting recent things. For example, Noah McCall, who starred in The Mountaintop in 2022, was on The Pit this year.
Oh,
And she is on Broadway right now as an understudy for all the women in Proof. And, you know, that's fun.
that's very
Everin
fun.
Stanley, who was at the Playhouse, I can't remember, 2013 maybe?
2013.
You know, is Hercules Mulligan in Hamilton on Broadway currently,
Yay.
and he started out in the Chicago company. You know, so it's fun to watch people you know, move on to those kinds of roles. And it's also just so fantastic to see like all the young people that I've just worked with in these 16 years. You know, they're doing just amazing work in their communities all across the nation. And, you know, what is it, the new studies that have come out that talk about how arts, you know, literally we all know this, neuroplasticity and all of that, that how arts help us live longer and you know,
And richer and richer.
I'm
yeah,
proof.
oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
proof.
Yeah. I mean, all of us who work in this business know it, you know, but I think I just went to a health and arts conference by the State Arts Council. And you know, there are doctors across the country who are starting to subscribe arts, like go to a play, you know, like as a subscription. And there are companies that are starting to pay for it. You know,
Wow.
because
Wow. Now
this
that I
helps,
hadn't heard. Yeah.
right? This helps people feel better.
Part of
And
wellness.
you know, so anyway, I could talk all day about how great we all are.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. And we are all great. Hello. Mr. Kingsbury, how is the next year going, this summer going for you? Please illuminate
Well,
us.
so far so good. But I was going to comment when Linda said every summer, every company does have its own personality, and it's never when I was there in '83, and then I waited 35 years. I imagined it was going to be the same when I came back. It certainly wasn't. But and I in that interim also, so for from 1983, I started drinking, and then right before I came back in 2012, I stopped drinking. However, I did not stop socializing. And Damon, we need someone like you to be having those, martini courts thing.
Damon will do it. Damon does it.
Well,
That's
so Dan's
why.
now starting to sort of consistently bring in old guard people and guest artists in that way who are a little bit older. And so um, I do not live on the campus any longer, and I usually zip right out because socializing with 20-year-olds is not high on my list. But I would appreciate socializing with 45-year-olds, Damon.
Yes. Are they still having gravel parties out there?
I haven't had one for a while.
No.
No.
Level
The
party.
rehearsal hall is kind of where our parties happen now, and it's tucked up
Oh,
on the
nice.
hill. Noise from the rehearsal hall does not reach Center Lake, which is nice. And
Oh, that's good.
just because of the way the mountains are shaped and stuff, so it sends it in another direction.
I think we need gravel parties for our age, though. Like, go to bed at a reasonable time.
The gravel party will close at 10:45.
Yeah.
4. You can start earlier.
So
In observance of the 11 o'clock quiet hour.
So what was
Well, we'd have
what
to
was the
start at
premise?
5:45.
Right.
What's the premise of a gravel party?
Well, that started when I came back in 80. Well, year was it? I did Fiddler in 83, Jeff. Wasn't that true, and Jenny May?
Yes,
And
Yes,
then I
that is
didn't
83.
correct.
come back, and I think I came back to actually, when did Jan take over? 85?
Oh God, I know
87?
this somewhere.
87.
87.
87.
87 was when I kind of
Mhm.
came back permanently for the summers for a number of, I don't know, 5, 6, whatever. And Jan had this thing, we would, I think we opened the shows on Friday night.
Thursday.
And we always had our opening night party in the pit, if you can imagine, but they were lots of fun.
Yay, the pit.
And
Thank you.
he said, no, we can't do that because they have to work on Saturday. And so we'll have the party the next night. I said, well, then it's not an opening night party. And he said, well, that's too bad. He said, they have to work. I said, they're adults. They can party and get up and go to work. And he said, yeah, but we can't depend on that. And I said, well, I think you should have more faith in the company, but if that's the night of the party, that's fine. And then I got up and I just said, if anyone after the opening night tonight is around, come on up to my house. I'm just going to be hanging out. And about, I don't know, 50 people showed up on the gravel. And I thought this was pretty fun. So then I decided this would be an ongoing thing for a while. So I would go into town and buy some extremely cheap liquor. And put it out and say, help yourselves. I'd rather have you here than driving into Custer. And
Absolutely.
that was because we had people doing that, they drive into Custer and just get smacked and then try to drive that road back home. And sometimes there were problems, not always, but I mean, sometimes there were. And that just scared me as I got older, I guess. When I was there in the 70s, yes, we did that quite often, I think. But as I got older, I thought that's pretty dangerous. So I'd rather have them up on the gravel. And, they all went to work the next day. Saturday
That was the
morning, they got
question.
there. They were a little bleary-eyed, but they got there and did their work.
I don't know if all of them
But
were.
it never changed to have the opening night party on opening night. I thought, come on, guys, they worked so hard. And, putting up a musical like we used to do. And I don't know, what did we have? 13 rehearsals to get a musical
Yeah,
up
build a
and
thing.
running?
Yeah.
You needed to
and
blow off
that's
steam by then, right?
absolutely. And that little party kind of did it. And they were always very well mannered, and everybody had a wonderful time.
Oh, now
Sometimes little things happened, and
Damon.
Devlin and his crew would get in, I don't know what's his name, old car, and they'd drive people up, and they'd arrive like they were on the red carpet, and it was just a big deal. We had
Oh,
so
that's
much fun.
fantastic.
You know, it still is a big deal. Like people will not go up to staff. Like that's the big
Oh,
time. And we're like,
that,
really, we are just really tired old people.
yeah, well, I used to get in trouble because there were people in my room a lot. And I said, this is kind of an interesting way of exchanging knowledge because I was already working in Hollywood at that time. Not that that was a big deal, but people wanted to know,
Yeah.
what do you do? And I remember at those little parties, soirees, I used to call them, and I said, people are welcome, no matter who you are, come up and we just chit chat about theater and about our lives after the Playhouse, because that's something that nobody ever thinks about. I didn't. And all of a sudden, boom, I was out in the cold and thought, what am I going to do here? And so it was nice to talk about that with those people, and for somehow they were kind of like seminars, and I think it worked really well. A lot of people did go off and do nice things.
Mentoring.
Although Jared, I railed at him to not leave when he did. I said, "You got to finish school." He said, "No, I don't need to." Well, then he went and won the Emmy, I mean the Tony Award. So what could I say? But
Right.
but that kind of stuff went on, and that was really, I don't know, it was pretty fascinating.
I love
Just,
that idea of a gathering where there's more talking than I mean, I'm gonna sound old, but the super loud music that you can't hear people. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But but I love the idea of chats. Yeah, and
yeah,
sharing that
exactly.
information and that.
I mean, there's been a little bit of that around the fire circle up at staff, where some people
That's
are
great.
there. which is nice. And I think that's a great thing. It's interesting now because with our production schedule, we don't we always open on a Sunday. Isn't that weird? But we sell out every
Well, it's a
opening.
it's a big audience. That's one thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But so then the Sunday they're off after that performance and they don't work Monday. So it allows for opening night parties and
Good.
They start
I
like at
think it's
7
nice.
o'clock.
that's
What,
right.
Dan? What?
They start early. They start at like, okay, we're going to take a little bit of time. We'll start at 8 o'clock as opposed to waiting for the curtain to come down at 10 o'clock or 10:30.
Right.
Well, that's nice.
It's
So
nice. Yeah. It's
For
sort
the
of
old people,
civilized.
it is.
The old people can participate.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Good.
yeah, the opening and receptions then are after the matinee, right? So
This old guy leaves right after the reception. I don't go to those parties.
yes. So do you guys have any
But
questions?
you know
for us?
why? Not because I don't like the party. I don't want to wait 2.5 hours. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going home.
Priorities.
Okay.
Please.
Priorities.
now that
Well-
you don't pregame anymore either. So,
All right. You know, those pre-show pre-games, Dan, I sure miss those.
So this year I'm just going to give a commercial. This year we're praying for everybody to get to buy their tickets to the 80th season celebration and alumni reunion. And we are so thrilled, Dan, that you guys don't have a show that night, and we really get to celebrate. And thank you so much for that opportunity to have us all. And actually, it was when we had our meeting, you said, I want the company to meet the alumni, and that will allow hopefully some of that if they talk to us.
and part of that is goes back to what Damon was just talking about. Those conversations that happen, we want to know about the people that are going outside of this place.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
So we're thrilled that we are praying that all will work well. It's still in front of us, and Shirley and Damon and John, well, all of you are part of it, and we appreciate your work in it. We also want to mention that of late, we've been working with Paul Dykstra and Dana Brown they're going to, while you guys do your Sunday matinee of Come From Away. And is that the closing? I can't remember. No, you still have another week. Yeah, I couldn't
That's the
remember.
middle one. Yep.
So that's good. So anyway, we're going to be having a classical music happy hour with Dana and Paul Dykstra, and Connie Dykstra Smith is going to have a comeback and bringing her gorgeous voice to the stage again, along with Marianne Nelson and a few other people that mostly University of South Dakota people. So, and I was just saying to Paul yesterday, I think 4 University of South Dakota people are on the board, and we really need to tap into those people to make sure that they're invited and realize the wealth of what's going to be happening Sunday afternoon. And Dana and Paul are major musicians in the Chicago area. They are pretty amazing, and they've been playing duets together since they were in college together, and so this is bringing to fruition their dream. So this is very fun, and it's going to be at Aaron Dykstra's house on Carriage Hills Drive 4908, which I think, I don't know, do you know that, Linda? Is it by Marnie's house? It's on Skyline, I think, but anyway.
Yeah, it's not, but it's
No?
it's in a very nice, I would say, kind of like grand piano type of neighborhood.
Right, because their home evidently can seat, well, we're going to hold it at 100.
Yes.
100 and double pianos and the doors open onto the pool. And anyway, so we're very grateful for their contribution to make this concert happen the
So
day.
you guys, is that just a question? Is that only open to alums, or can we promote that?
No,
Anyone.
no, anyone. And
The
Okay.
more money they have, the better. In fact, some coordination with Jeff to really identify people that would be appropriate to mingle with at that concert on Sunday afternoon.
Cool.
I'm serious about, it's only 100,
Mm-hmm.
and it is about, I mean, the performance is a gift by, Dana and Paul, but it's an opportunity to mingle and get people aware of what the Playhouse is doing and the opportunity for a personal interaction with the shakers and movers in the greater Rapid area and the USD alumni. So that's, really the focus, the fundraising focus of that afternoon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
And also that you will establish to that group of people that the Alumni Association is its own organization,
Sure.
right? And there's still quite a lot of people that are confused by that.
Yeah. So that's,
And
it's another step in the way.
So do you guys have their bios, like their musical bios on the website?
Well, the last BHPAA newsletter last month was introduced the concert and introduced both of them.
Oh, fantastic.
And yes, as a matter of fact, that was in the last newsletter. So
Could we ask
they're
Sarah?
pretty excited. They're pretty excited. And I'm excited again to hear Connie come back onto the stage really and sing. And what a voice, and
So,
Marianne and
I want to go back, Jenny Mae, because Paul called me a week or so ago, 10 days, and he wanted to know for that Sunday concert who they could get for a caterer, which I sicked him on 2 caterers in town that I know. And he said, and could you send me a number for the valet parking service that you have in Rapid? I went,
You
a
guys,
valet
yeah, right.
parking service is the people that you know that will park the car.
so last year, you guys, we had a company member from, I think, Los Angeles who called in and asked if she could get an Uber from Rapid to the Playhouse.
Oh,
You can't, by the way.
In light
it's
of
such
that,
a learning curve, believe me.
we have reserved a 12-passenger van to take people from a parking area away from the home to have a shuttle to do that. So
Oh,
if
that's
needed,
nice.
if needed.
if
So
needed. So
yeah,
we've got one on reserve at the
Cool.
moment.
yeah.
Cool.
What would be an appropriate car park theme for that event, do you think?
Tuxedo.
A tailgate.
No, or maybe the band
Everybody
uniform.
has to write a haiku.
So our car parking people should have tuxes, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, I don't think it would be animal night, where they're using floppy ears and
not like Gladiator or Star Wars or
yeah.
Wizard of Oz or some theme for car parks for that event.
Deb, you're on mute, so
Probably for the best.
Team, and I can come up with costume.
that's right.
Yes, you can.
Do you have elf hats that we can borrow? Will you drag them out? We need elf hats.
Elf.
We do.
Yeah, we do. Well, we
Awesome.
yes, that's so. I'll ask you about that
Christmas is
later.
also the theme.
Do you
Make a
guys
list,
remember?
Jenny.
Do you remember Eric Hedlund? He used to park like he would do handstands, and he would direction with his feet.
Oh my God.
Oh wow, wow.
No, I just
Goodness,
talked to him not long ago, and he does
Oh.
a festival in New York, a small playwriting festival, and
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it's just fun hearing what everyone's doing.
I always thought, how acrobatic.
Wow. So Shirley's going to be out, Shirley, you're going to be at the reunion, and we still will talk about all that, but she's going to be conducting the little choir, and the Gulch music has been found, and which is wonderful, and will be in the file at the play at the offices as well, and Shirley, would you like to, Shirley, let us hear a little bit from you. Just talk to us, dear.
Talk to you.
Yes, good
I
morning.
was thinking back to what Damon said about driving into Custer after opening night. My early years, we would drive the back roads to the Copper Room in Keystone,
That's
which,
true.
Oh,
which was very
That's
dangerous.
a terrible road,
oh
yes.
yeah.
It was. And Jack,
Was.
Damon, were you there during Jack Crippen's years? Tom Hill?
Tom Hill, I knew very,
Yeah,
very well,
Tom
but
and,
Jack
and
Crippen,
I
I
think
did not.
maybe Dougie Steckler, that
Yes,
whole crew. And Jack
and
Crippen was
Graham.
not a very safe driver. I really thought we saw the ends of our lives many, many, many times. It was crazy.
Yeah,
But
that's a really bad way back then.
yeah, I have a children's choir that I'm bringing out to the hills the first weekend in June,
Right.
and we're going to be performing at the Jonta Festival in Custer. I was talking to
Oh,
Jeff last night, actually, yesterday afternoon, and Meredith has been a great help too. But I thought, when I knew Bonnie and Skip were living there, so I contacted them and said, "We're coming out. Would you like to come in?" And then I thought, I wonder if Skip has a copy of The Devil's Gold
Yes, yes,
music.
yes.
I
And
swear I asked them, but
really, and
yeah,
there it was. Bonnie says, "Of course, we found it with Scripps manuscript. No,
good.
no words inside the music, but we can add those in." So she had scanned the whole
All
thing, I
of it.
think.
All
Yeah,
of it. All of it.
all of
Yeah.
it. So
So
we
that's a
now have a copy in the Playhouse
oh,
possession. But she
yeah.
said, "I'm not letting it out of my sight," and I
And
don't
she
blame
shouldn't.
her because
Yeah.
that's a gem to have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're
So
really.
Dan, let me interrupt Shirley. So Shirley was looking at the website and then she also did you tell me, Shirley, that you did find a video copy of the history of America that you were able to
There were a
watch?
couple clips on YouTube.
So she's because it's fifth through eighth grade,
I have
and
one ninth grader. Yeah.
well, but and so she's was concerned about the content, and I've offered to give a tour.
It's not really appropriate for that age. So
Well,
And
unfortunately.
and she'll be there on opening night, but she can't do the tour that day. I've explained.
I'm
The
visiting with
seventh
my
is
trip
yeah.
coordinator this afternoon yet, and then we'll finalize what we have available in there because we do the Jonta thing on Saturday.
How
Yeah,
many is in the choir, Shirley? How
I have
many?
16 singers coming.
Nice.
oh
Nice.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to sing at Meredith's church, I think that Sunday morning.
Oh, how
Oh,
wonderful.
that's
We're
fantastic.
trying to do the performance at Mount Rushmore during their lighting ceremony. It's been a real challenge communicating with them, and then they shut down for a while, and so everything just fell apart. So we're just going to go to the ceremony on one of those nights that we're in
Yeah,
town.
their staff has been just cut to the bone.
Yes, yes, and it's
Believe that.
disastrous. I feel so bad for them. But I was watching the one where you were doing the anagrams of the historical people like George Washington and what the last one is Spiro Agnew and first of all, I don't think my singers would even know who Spiro Agnew is. Maybe my parents wouldn't even know them because some of them I had as students. But then when they anagrammed it up, and I went, "Oh no, my mothers would go crazy on this one." So I think I would love them to have that experience of seeing a show at the Playhouse because it's such an incredible place and has delved into so many people's lives, and mine included that. But I'm sorry to say, I don't think my cute little fifth graders would they'd go,
I bet
"What's
they would
that?"
like it, but their parents might not.
Their
Yeah,
parents,
Yeah, right.
I would probably lose my job in that. But we're looking forward to it. to the hills, a trip to the hills, doing some little tour things and hopefully sharing with them the Playhouse and let them see what it looks like.
That's
Oh,
fantastic. And
that
our
is.
offices, Shirley, are in the basement of the shops at Main Street Square. So if you
Can you
guys,
say that again?
our offices in Rapid are in the basement of the shops at Main Street Square. So if you guys are downtown and you're going to Main Street Square at all in Rapid, which is a place where a lot of people go, there's a fountain and all kinds of things. Stop by. Let us know.
Okay, we're staying in Hill City, I think, which is,
Okay.
and we want to do the train into Keystone.
Oh, good. Good
around.
one. Oh,
Yeah,
good
and
one.
and then I think we're going to do the Pioneer Village and was it Murdoch?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I
Along
think
the
that's
way
right. Yeah.
someplace.
Yep.
In the
Well, you should go swimming in Hot Springs.
You should.
Mhm.
I want to stay another day, but the
I
boards
know.
don't have the money, so
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the
thank
whole
you for
issue.
bringing them. That's fabulous. You
We
are
do a
amazing.
trip every year, and we wanted to do the Black Hills last year, and it didn't work. So we did Minneapolis last year. So we're doing South Dakota this year, which I'm excited about because it's very fond in my heart.
Your roots, baby.
So Shirley, where are you bringing these students from? Where are you from?
Sioux City,
Awesome.
Oh,
Sioux City, Iowa. Called the Siouxland Youth Chorus. It's a program that I started 36 years ago. This is our 36th season, and I'm old. Yeah, but Jeff deleted himself. Now we've gone through lots of singers. I have children of children
Oh my God.
going through the program. It's really crazy.
I know every time I talk to you, you said, well, I taught his whatever. They know, so all the
Yeah.
connections that you have had vocally in that whole area, in the whole Midwest, is really profound.
Yeah,
And
Dana Brown I had him as a student at Huron. My first job was
I
in
know, that's
Huron.
what just everybody I've talked to, you like, I've had, yeah. So
I
Dana,
got to meet,
go
I
ahead.
got to meet I was just going to say, I got to meet both Damon and Shirley at the USD Hall of Fame where they were both celebrated for the work that they've done. And that was fantastic to finally meet them.
Nice.
It was great to see you. Yes, and I felt like I knew you from all of the Playhouse times we had been there, but never really formally met. Yes,
Yes.
and Janet was there that day too, and Skip is being inducted this year.
He is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm so
And is that
excited.
Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson.
Larry
Yeah.
Johnson too, who's a Playhouse alum.
right.
Oh,
And
great.
also on
Larry and Mary Jo.
Yeah.
and the both of them, right? Also on Friday night, when we get together the first at the reunion, Friday night is the night we have a small rehearsal. Surely, we just confirmed that yesterday with Janet. Janet,
Boyer.
yeah, I never think Moyer, right?
Boyer.
Is
Boyer.
Janet Brown going to sing?
I don't know yet. We haven't firmed that all up. If she would like to, she can. She should.
I've really pushed Cliff Byer, trying to
Oh,
get him to
good.
come out. I don't know if he can. He keeps saying he's kind of this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody else knows Cliff, push him. We need you to
Good.
sing. Because we had a great time with him that summer when we went to Greenland and whatever all.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
Was that your first year, Shirley?
No, my first year was 69.
69, okay.
And we went the US tour, I think was 70 or 71.
No, 70, because I came the first time in 71.
Okay.
Oh, you came after that. Yeah. Yeah. So you had taught back to Dana and Paul, you had taught Dana Brown.
At Huron Junior High.
Yeah, exactly. So that will be fun for you too.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
and I'm wondering, John Kirk, let's just
Yes.
hear a little bit from you and how your summer's going to go. This is year 4 at the Playhouse for you.
Yeah, pretty excited. It's a great part. I say most cuss words.
Oh,
Not a real
I'm a
big part,
fan.
but I'm really looking forward to it. And I will be, my last show is the 12th, so I'll have plenty of time to get ready for the reunion on the 28th.
That's good. We're going to be at your final show.
Yeah, and I
And then
think finding a crew of the thespians to help me assemble the stuff that needs hung that day or whatever shouldn't be too much of trouble.
Christmas tree, upside down Christmas tree.
Exactly. Now that's probably going to take an afternoon or so in the shop, just making it. I don't know how you make an upside down tree. We're going to have to glue everything to where it doesn't, the fake tree doesn't collapse upon itself. So there's a
What
little bit
about
of
just
engineering.
cutting one and hanging it up?
Well, that would certainly solve a lot of trouble. Yeah.
That's what I bet they did. You guys, Shirley, you and Damon, that must be what they did.
Yeah, they cut a little tree out in the back
And just
behind
hang it
the
upside. Yeah,
old
that would be the
theater.
best thing to do.
Very
Absolutely. Yeah.
quietly, very
Yeah, well, we
quietly.
weren't supposed to do it, and no one knew that they
No
did
one
it.
Yeah.
knew.
I think
Because
that's a
Doc
great
would have
idea.
been extremely upset, but he never said anything because he walked in. I mean, Doc used to perform at those early Christmas parties.
Did.
To me or not to me.
Yes.
Well,
And Ed,
I only wish I had the time back that I've spent thinking about how we're going to do that. But yeah, taking a tree and an actual
The
tree and
middle
just
of the
hanging it
night,
upside
sneak
down.
out.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Well,
All
don't you
right.
have one in your backyard that looks a little scraggly that would look good upside down?
I've told you since Christmas that I have a tree, a fake tree that I was going to donate, and you go, okay, all right. So I just assumed that was the way we were going to go, but
Oh,
an
well,
actual tree is truly the way to go.
it's
Yeah, that'll save
Holy
tons of
brown
work.
tree.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right, Shirley. That's what we used to call it. Bill Anderson used to call it that.
Right.
Called it what?
We'll call it what,
Charlie
Damon?
Brown tree.
The
Oh,
Charlie
Charlie
Brown tree.
Brown tree.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Okay. Yeah,
A
that
little bit of
works.
research there, Kirk. That's what.
I'm
Pick
in the
one
loop.
up.
Mark, before we conclude, where are we, Mark? What do we need to do? Share.
So for those get your tickets, you're in about, oh no, it came out, probably went out just a second.
It did just
12
go out.
12:01. The first sort of countdown email went out at 1 minute ago, with the deadline of June 15th. So for those who have not got their tickets or whatever, we now have a deadline because we've got to kind of get our act together, finalize things, get counts to various people, and know where we're at. And Liam cracked the whip on us and said, nope, only till June 15th. So we're good. So that went out for the first time. So now we're going to send a note out every week, probably every Saturday for the next 4 weeks or so, counting down to the June 15th deadline. So get your tickets, before they get released to the general public. So that's the big message, right? So if you know people who are coming who may have not, asked them if they've got their ticket or tickets and let them know that, June 15th is the date. So, and there's probably some people that I've heard are going or that need to be there and are on agendas and itineraries and performing and stuff and haven't got their tickets yet. So I'm going to,
Shirley.
I was not,
You've been
I was
busy.
not pointing you out. You self-identified. I appreciate that, Shirley. But I do know of others have not either. So, but that's fine. So, like what Linda said at the beginning, the last minute rush is what we're hoping for and what we'll expect to get. But now the countdown is on. So, today's the 16th. So
yeah, and that might be
days.
something to think about is whether you make that 15th public because you'll have people rush to the first, right?
Right.
So if you say 15th, then they'll rush to the 15th.
Well, right. But we've got to get something out there. I mean,
yeah.
Otherwise,
and I think the other thing I would say is that this is a performance that hasn't been publicized and it's at a time when we don't generally do performances. So even after that date, there'll probably be tickets available, but not for long because we'll have to sell it,
Right.
But
it'll
anyway,
be a premium.
don't tell people that, but anyway.
Right.
But tell your friends to get their tickets. Get them now.
Yeah.
John
and
Kurt.
I like what we talked about at the beginning, just to but just to go about people who looked at the videos, the oral histories, over the 5 or 6 decades and the evolution and, kind of touching on that theme of what the Playhouse did for me, which has even manifested itself in this little conversation about how that. So I think, that's a great theme, and what people talk about is how their impact and how you see some of the conversations and the impact is just fantastic. And that's what should be celebrated. I think that's why people come to these reunions to celebrate, what the Playhouse did for them. Yeah. No, that's like all I would say. Again, June 15th, get your tickets. Yeah, Jeff.
Before June
Before June 15th, right. No later than.
Before July 24th, get your tickets.
Yeah. And then that too.
Everybody.
That's fantastic.
Anybody want to finish up and say anything else and for the good of the cause?
We meet tomorrow at noon,
Jimmy
right?
and Sharon need
Jenna?
to be in that mix. Everybody loves seeing them.
Yeah.
And we meet tomorrow at noon for
Yeah.
the other meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
All right.
Sounds good.
Well, there you have it.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Just everybody come. We're going to have a great time.
Thank you all.
It'll be great.
Thank you all. Thank you all for your work. I'll be talking to most of you soon. So thank you.